surely God is in this place, but I was not aware. Hundreds of sermons have been preached about this particular text, each simply focusing on something different or unique. But most commonly, I suppose, the focus would be on God's love and grace as He extends His promise to both Jacob and his family from Abraham and Isaac. God's faithfulness is a large part of this story. But the thing that I want to focus on today is this aha moment that Jacob seems to have when he wakes up from his dream. It was exactly the same place, other than a stone that had been moved from here to there in order that Jacob could rest his head upon. It was the same place that he awoke the next morning and declared, surely God is in this place, but I was not aware. Surely God is in this place, and yet I was not aware. I wonder if you've had experiences similar to this one. Places where you have found yourself, where you can honestly say that God was present in that time and space. I can grasp at a number of experiences that I've had. The one that immediately comes to mind is a large rock that is situated in the Kruger National Park, about 10 kilometers from Skukuza Rest Camp. It's a common place that people often travel to in their evening drive because from its elevated position, you can see a whole expanse of the vast lands. But in the distance, and depending on where you stand on the rock, you can see the sun just beginning to dip away. We've stood many times on that particular rock, watching the sun go down. And if we've been lucky enough, we've had elephant or giraffe in amongst the savanna below. Just a few hundred meters, watching them as they eat the trees and bushes, as they wander through on the well-maintained paths that the animals do. I've stood on that rock and took a deep breath and said, surely the Lord is in this place. Surely the Lord is in this place. Another occasion that I have vividly in my mind was during lockdown. We were able to go down to our house in Knysna. And one of the days, you weren't allowed to go to the beach. It was during that time where no one was allowed on the beach. But they have a small beach that is near where the house, a private beach called the Cove. And one of the days after having cabin fever of being in the house all day, we snuck down to the Cove. And we sat there. The clouds hung above the sea, and in the distance you could almost make out that it was starting to rain, a couple of kilometers out. The beach is very pebbly, and I looked out, and the waves just kept coming. Each wave that came and went was followed by another that came and went. Again, in that moment, in amongst all the chaos of everything that our world was experiencing at that time, there was a deep sense that the Lord was in that place. For some of you, it's on holiday, like me, in places all over the world, perhaps, witnessing creation and nature at its very best. For some of you, it's simply stepping out into the garden and seeing the trees and the birds, perhaps in witnessing a sunrise or a sunset. Those moments that seem to capture our hearts. That presence that Kiara spoke about. Yes, the Lord is always with us. But there are moments where we feel the presence of the Lord more in those moments. And so it is with Jacob, the place having not been changed at all, manages to find the Lord in that place. Friends, I suppose we need to cultivate that sense in ourselves, in every place in creation. Perhaps to have a revelation that the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Perhaps have that reverence that I spoke about last week. The understanding that here is a tree. Did you have anything to do with it in its creation? No. To have that understanding and that reverence that the Lord created our entire world, and that we are simply guests. We are simply visitors here and now. And what is our responsibility towards the earth? How is it that the Lord has called us to treat this beautiful gift that He has given us? Surely the Lord is in this place. You see, I think when we realize or have an awareness of the Lord in all sorts of places, we can begin to understand our role in taking care of it, in looking after the gift that has been given to us. And so I challenge you this week to look for the Lord in all sorts of places. Let it realign how we should be interacting both with one another and with the earth. Thanks be to God. Amen.